Hey, today I will be showing you one of the best lightning builds in Elden Ring patch 1.09 or even 1.09.1. The first item that we are going to pick up can be found over here at West Rampart, Lost Grace, and this can be found within Lindell Royal Capital. You then want to go towards the east here and then eventually make your way towards the right, and you should be facing towards the northwest. Well, eventually you will be. And you should see that there's a bigger fella there. As long as you do not bother him, he will not bother you. So just walk past him, go up the tree root, and then locate the top there where the Coliseum is. We want to go in this general direction. Let's hop down, then go up, take a right, and you should see a gladiator or a duelist, whichever one you prefer to call him. You'll then go up to him, attack him, defeat him, and then if you're lucky enough, or if your discovery is high enough, you will have a chance of him dropping the duelist axe. It's one of the best axes in the game, and man, it does pack a punch when you do lay down some damage. It's great for inflicting a lot of damage when you do have something like an affinity on. For example, I have the lightning, and we are going to get into that very soon. So now here you can see in the second clip, after going back and forth, I was able to receive the item here. Now I have another duelist axe. Let's go ahead and then go towards the opposite side from where we went. Then take a left, go down below, and then jump over the balcony. For example, if you jump right here, you will fall towards your death. So just go back up, locate the balcony right here, jump down, and then if you look towards your right, you should see two enemies. One with a bow, and then the other one's going to be a knight. We just want to simply go over and take out the knight as fast as possible, or to make things easier, it probably would be better off if you just took out the bow guy, because man, his bows are quite powerful. So once you've done so and you've defeated this guy, you should see that he does drop the gravel stone seal. This is great because it does help out with dragon incantations. The next location we need to find is East Gale North Lost Grace. Go towards the east, take a right, and then eventually you will be facing towards the south. We want to continue upwards here, and you should see a guy at the top with a bow. He will rain down some arrows, just run past it towards the right here. There are 3 enemies located ahead, do not worry about them, but if you want to throw in a swing, why not? I did. Go up here, go towards the left, you should see that it's locked. We can then go around this side here, go around the castle, should see one enemy, take him out, then proceed up the ladder all the way to the top, and then on your screen you should see that there's a beast down there. For myself, I have already taken him out. You will receive a great Ashes of War called Lion's Claw. This is by far one of the best Ashes of War in the game, and I highly recommend that you grab it and throw it onto your axe. Moving on, we need to head over towards the Artish Shack, and then we want to proceed downwards towards the south. You should see that there's a fella there in the distance. Take him out and you will receive a book. We want to take this exact book back towards the round table and turn it into prone. Once you've done so, you can then proceed on towards the next location. And by the way, when you do turn in that book, it is kind of spinny. The 2 incantations that we are going to purchase, again, it's just sort of up there when it comes to the runes. It's not entirely too bad. Yet if you're new to the game, it might be a lot of runes. This is going to be either 6,000 to 7,000 runes. Moving on towards the next location, which is Insel River Downstream. We want to go towards the south here, go downwards, and then you should see that there's a couple of ants here. Honestly, again, same situation here as the last few clips. As long as you do not bother them, they will not bother you. So just run past them like we've done previously with the other enemies and go along this path here. Eventually, when you do reach the end here, you should see that there's a left and a right side. Go towards the right and proceed along this path, and then eventually you will be in a larger room. This is going to be where one of the Dragonkin bosses are, and you do want to take this fella out, because if you do not do so, of course you're not going to receive this awesome incantation, which is the Frozen Lightning Spear. It's a really useful incantation, and it does a great job with damage, and phenomenal when it comes down to taking large groups of enemies. And the last incantation can be found over here at the Bridge of Inequity. You want to go towards the northwest here, continue along this dark path here, follow the dirt path all the way towards the end, and you should see that there's going to be a corpse shack. If you go inside, you should see that there is going to be a spell or an item right there on the corpse. Just pick it up and you should receive Golden Bow. This is great because it does actually increase your damage and damage negation. Let's move on and talk about talismans. If you head over towards Church of the Plague, you should see Maleficent on the ground towards the back left here. Interact, exhaust the dialogue, then you want to go towards the west. You should see some of these tombstones, if I can talk. Go down below, and then as you do continue, you should see a tree here towards the right. We want to jump down below. This way we can skip a good portion and just go straight towards the NPC that we need to talk to, which is Gowry, and he's going to be inside this shack here. Talk to him, exhaust the dialogue, then what you want to do is proceed towards the west. Eventually you will come across the swamp, and then you should see that there's a boss in the middle. Once you do defeat him, you will receive the golden needle. You then want to take that back towards Gowry's shack. He will then give you the gold needle unalloyed, and then you want to take that back towards the Church of the Plague, take it back to Maleficent. Then from there, you want to rest, go back towards her again, exhaust the dialogue, then rest again. She should move out of the church, and then she should be over towards Gowry. This means, yes, we need to head back towards the shack, talk to her, then exhaust the dialogue all the way. You then want to head over towards Shaded Castle. The reason why we are over here is because we need to pick up Maleficent's prosthesis, and this can be found towards the northwest here. Just continue along this poison path. There are some enemies on the side, for the most part, that can be dodged. I decided to take out that first fella because why not? And then if you go towards the west, you should see that there's going to be a ladder on the right side. We want to take that ladder all the way up. Once you're all the way up, take a left and then go along this brick side here. You want to go towards the end, and you should see that there's going to be a rotten knight. You want to take out the knight and then proceed on inside the building. There will be a chest that you want to loot, and this is going to contain the prosthesis, specifically Maleficent's prosthesis. You then want to give this to her, and the location that she should be at is going to be over at Erdtree Gazing Hill. From this exact Lost Grace, you can proceed up towards the top, and you should see her there chilling. She will be located towards the north, and you then want to interact with her, talk to her, give her the prosthesis, and at this point, she should be done. You just want to go towards the next stop, which is going to be over at Windmill Heights. The reason why is because this is her next stop. We want to take out a fellow that's going to be over there. It's going to be a Godskin Noble. Once you do so, interact with Maleficent, talk to her, and then this is where you have your choices. You can proceed along the whole entire quest, right? Or you can take her out right now, receive 2 different talismans. When I say 2 different talismans, I'll explain that right now. Because when you do take her out, you will receive Maleficent's prosthesis talisman. This increases your attack every time you swipe away. We are not going to be using this. Instead, the reason why we are taking her out right now is because if we head back towards Gowry's shack, I'll be honest, it's kind of messed up that we took out his daughter and then went straight to the shack just to take him out so we could receive another talisman. And in order to receive this, of course, we need to take him out. You should see that he's going to drop 2 items. Of course, throw in a tea bag. This is going to be Flock's Canvas Talisman and Gowry's Belt Bearing. Now that we have that, let's go ahead and pick up the next version of this talisman. This can be found over at Celia Crystal Tunnel. We want to enter inside, go towards the right, take the ladder all the way up, of course, and then you should proceed along the path. Do not go towards the right, go towards the left. There are a group of enemies in here. Go along the path towards the right, then take a left, take another left, jump across the gap here. You should see one of those insect enemies, and they're always a pain in the butt, so we're just going to avoid them. Go along here, you can pick up an item there, go up towards the east, and now inside this smaller room, you should see this dude trying to literally rush up on you. You'll just go past him, go up the ladder, go towards the west. This is where things are a little tricky because some of the enemies on the lower section there and even on the top will try to attack you with their arrows or whatever the hell it is that they shoot out of themselves. I'm really not too sure what it is. Yet anyways, go towards the northwest, go towards the right. You should see 2 of those insect enemies. Take them out, and then you should see that there's a talisman right there. This will be the Faithful Canvas Talisman, and you can stack this with the Phlox Canvas Talisman. The third talisman can be located over here at Mistwood Outskirts. We are going to proceed towards the southeast. I will speed up this clip here so it does not take too long for me to show you where this is. Yet eventually you will come across the ruins and a bear near the stair steps. Eventually you will be at the Mistwood Ruins. Avoid the bear, go downstairs, and then you should see that there's a chest. Make sure that you open up the chest, of course, and now you have the Axe Talisman. This increases our damage with charged attacks. The last location is going to be over here at Saints Bridge, Lost Grace. You have your options. I've talked about this quite a lot before. You can either complete the entire quest, which is what I highly recommend, because you're able to receive the Shard of Alexander, which increases your damage by 15%, specifically with skills. Now, of course, you can take out Alexander a lot sooner, and this will reward you with Warrior Jar Shard. It's not the best, so definitely complete this whole quest. And the last location is going to be found over here at the Mausoleum Compound. We, of course, have our weapon, the Incantations, and even the Talismans. Of course, there is the Ashes of War too, so what else do we possibly need? If you want to increase your damage a bit more, you can head over here towards the southeast, take out the Erdtree, and you will receive the Lightning Shrouding tier. This is going to absolutely help you out quite a lot when it comes down to increasing your lightning damage. We now have all of the items for the build. I do want to say that it is completely optional, and I actually recommend it, that if you want to use the Lightning Scorpion Charm, definitely do so. This is going to increase your damage as well. So let's now talk about stats. For Vigor, I decided to add 35 points there, Mind 27, because we are going to be using our Ashes of War in some of our spells if we want to. There, of course, is Endurance 35. This way we can dual wield 2 of those Duelist Axe. Then for Strength, we have it at 40. You might be wondering, why is this lower? Well, because actually with the Duelist, it does scale higher with Dexterity. And on the other side of the coin, if you do use the Duelist Axe, it does scale lower when it comes down to Strength. And I believe it's at a grade D. This is why the Strength is at 40 points and Dexterity is at 60. Make sure that you do have both of those axes with the lightning affinity. You can mix it up. You could possibly have one with bleed or even possibly one with cold. It's really just up to you and how you want to experiment with it. I actually tried both and it's quite fun. So with that being said, let's continue on here. Intelligence is at 7, of course, because why does it need to be any higher if we're just using incantations? Faith is at 52. This way we can use the dragon incantations as well as the golden vow to increase our damage. And last but not least, you do want to leave arcane low. So if you have it set to its default points, then leave it as it is. We need to talk about how this build is used and what damages are being inflicted. First and foremost, Phlox Canvas Talisman and Faithful Canvas Talisman can stack. I don't know if you guys skip past that, but I'll just mention it once more. The Phlox Canvas Talisman is going to give you an 8% increase in damage when you do use your incantations. With that being applied with the other talisman, aka Faithful Canvas Talisman, this will increase your damage by 4% when using incantations. When you have both equipped, this is going to give you a 12% increase in damage. Then we head over towards Shard of Alexander. This is going to increase your damage by 15% when you use your skill. I do want to say that you can swap out this next talisman. This is going to be the Axe Talisman. This increases your charged attacks by 10%. You can swap this out for the Lightning Scorpion Charm. This talisman right here is quite useful. It does increase your damage by 12%, yet on the other hand, there is a negative to it because you're going to be receiving 10% extra physical damage. This is just one of those things, right? You have their negatives and positives, and this is one of those talismans. And this can actually help out quite a lot when it comes down to using your skill, because you do have a lightning affinity, and on top of that you're going to be using your skill, which is going to increase the damage because of the good old Shard of Alexander. That helps out quite a lot. What I like to do is swipe away with both of the swords, jump attack. If you have the Raptor set, it's going to help quite a lot with damage, and so this is what I'm using in this video. I tried to use something that's a little bit different, maybe something that most of the builders out there have yet to use. So there you go, guys. I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have, give the video a like, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe by clicking the red subscribe button. Click the notified button there, which is going to be the bell icon. Make sure that you're notified for all. And if you have any questions, leave them down below. I will try to reply back within the first hour or two. And so with that being said, thank you to everyone that is currently subscribed and is a member. Appreciate the love and support, and I'll see you all in the next video.